For the last 5 years, EVs have been deemed the future of the automotive industry, but the issue with a lot on the market is to cost the same as a small house deposit. So today, we're looking at something that's slightly different, because this is the all-new MG4 Urban, an electric hatchback which actually starts from less than £24,000, which raises the question, is this actually the best budget-friendly EV on the market, or is it suspiciously cheap? First, let's talk design, and the looks department, I think, is an area that MG have massively improved over the last decade. Cast your mind back 10 years ago, and the MG range looked a bit awkward and clunky, whereas now, they're not half bad looking. Urban certainly follows that same suit. Now, it's called the MG4 Urban because it shares a lot of design similarities to the existing MG4, and the fact you have them sharp LED headlights, kind of lack of a front grille, but you have that jagged front bumper down the bottom. But when I look at the Urban, it kind of looks like a more hipster version of the MG4 and shares some similarities to the S5 EV. You could say that it fits perfectly in the middle. And when you look at the interior and the boot capacity, then you'll see where I'm coming from. One key noticeable difference between the 4 and the Urban is its side profile. Its dimensions are ever so slightly bigger, and the way that roof kind of just keeps raising at the back, from the side it almost looks like a compact SUV, especially with the top spec when it sits on 17-inch alloy wheels. Base and mid-spec will have 16 inches. But overall, it's sleek. It certainly doesn't have the sporty aesthetics of the 4, but it still looks good. If the front resembles MG4 and S5 EV, then it's almost fair to argue that the rear resembles MG Cyberster. Not completely, it doesn't have quite an aggressive back end as the Cyberster or sporty looks, but the rear light design definitely does. The way you have arrows either side, certainly reminiscent of the Cyberster, but the difference being is these are a lot more rounded off, they're not quite as sporty, definitely fitting that Urban name tag. The rest of the rear does look good. As I mentioned, even though it's classed as a hatchback, it certainly looks more like a compact SUV. The way that rear end is quite jagged, you have a very prominent rear bumper, and also it looks quite big. It definitely feels grander than the MG4. But the best thing about the rear, which could almost be the best thing about this compact EV, is its boot capacity, because it's class leading. Under here, you'll have 577 litres of boot capacity. To put that in perspective, existing MG4 has 388. It doesn't just trump it, it completely blows it out the water. But on first impressions, you're looking at boot capacity, and I'm sitting here going, where's 577? Surely MG are pulling the wool over our eyes here. Well, it's because you get such a deep floor that goes all the way down. That's where that 577 comes. If you just look at it like that, you're probably expecting 330 at a push. It is only when you look at the underfloor storage that you then realise that's where the 577s come from. And having class-leading boot capacity only makes its price tag that bit more exceptional, because the comfort standard range, the base spec, comes in at 23,500. The mid-spec, the comfort long range, 25,500, and the top spec, the premium long range, is still less than 28 grand. Talk about value for money. And the best thing is, there's not really much to split them three specs. When it comes to the standard range, you'll get a 42 kilowatt hour battery housing up to 201 mile electric range. Both the long ranges house the same 53 kilowatt hour battery, with both housing over 250 miles. The comfort standard and long range house the same tech, whereas the premium long range will get extended range, but better features on the interior, meaning with its flagship spec level, you will get wireless phone charger, 360 parking cameras, heated seat and heated steering wheel, as well as live services, which includes Spotify, YouTube, TikTok and Amazon Music, all integrated in the entertainment screen. But I think what's so great about the MG4 Urban is you don't need to go spend an extra £5,000 to get that top spec to house useful features. The base spec will still look exactly the same. You'll still get the same 12.8 inch infotainment screen and 7-inch digital dash. The infotainment screen, even from its base spec, will house wireless Apple CarPlay Android Auto, built-in sat-nav and reversing camera. And even when you're out on the road, all specs will house the same MG Pilot system, meaning you get lane keep assist, blind spot detection, adaptive cruise control, hill start assist, all the safety features that you need you'll get across the entire plethora of MG4 Urbans. As I keep mentioning, the Urban almost feels like it's teetering on the edge of a compact SUV, and this interior kind of exaggerates that point with just how practical it actually is. You get so much storage in the center console, deep pocket under your armrest, 2 cup holders, space for your wireless phone charger, but if you go for the mid or base spec, then you just get a nice bit of storage there. Pocket here and loads under this floating module, which also integrates 2 USB-C chargers. But I like the fact you've got actual dials for your climate control, not just housed in the infotainment screen. The only climate controls which are solely housed inside the infotainment screen is heated seat and heated steering wheel, but you've got shortcuts underneath, so you don't have to go fighting round for a menu. What I do like is a lot of MGs actually share this trait, and I feel like a lot of modern cars have it, is you've actually got a favourite button, so you can actually customise to what you want to bring up. So currently it's customised to bring on your different driver modes, which again, there are 5 in from the base spec: Eco, Normal, Sport, Snow and Custom. There's a lot of areas that impress me about the MG4 Urban, if I'm being honest. I feel like when they announced they're bringing out this car, it's like, well, what really is the point of it? And you've already got the MG4 that's award-winning, done excellent. You see loads of them out on the road. Why have you kind of changed that formula? Well, it's because they've made a cheaper version of the MG4, but it doesn't feel cheaper. Matter of fact, this interior actually looks great, especially with that sports style seating and 2-tone colourway, which actually again is seen across the entire spec, which almost makes you wonder, well, what is the point in making that top spec when it's almost identical to the base spec? Or as a matter of fact, what's the point in making that base spec when I feel like a lot of people are going to go from the top one? I mean, it costs less than 28 grand. I feel like some people, more talking to you parents, might look at this and almost glance over it thinking, that's not a family car, that's just a work commuter getting you from A to B. I definitely think the Urban has a lot more to give and could be a great family vehicle, because not only do you have a class-leading boot capacity, I mean 577, you get less in a Nissan Juke. Put that into perspective. But also, the rear seats will house ISOFIX points either side, as well as a completely flat floor. The amount of headroom, legroom and just comfort in the rear of this car is exceptional. It's meant to be deemed a hatchback, but it certainly don't feel like one. I can almost lie down in the back of it. Granted, I'm not the tallest bloke, but I'm probably about the same height as a lot of 10, 11-year-olds out there, so they won't be complaining. You'll also get air vents in the back, decent amount of storage, and only 1 USB-C charger. That's its only downside. 2 would have been great, because your kids might be squabbling over that. But I feel like if just having 1 USB-C charger is its only fault, it's obviously a good car. So then, there you have it, the all-new MG4 Urban. Now, it almost pains me to say this, I think a lot of people might brush over the Urban because everyone wants an SUV these days, God knows why, and see that hatchback tagline that the 4 Urban comes with and thinks, not a cat in hell's chance. But for me, this EV does everything you'd want an SUV to do, has class-leading boot capacity and actually has a bigger boot space than a lot of SUVs on the market, and costs considerably less. The fact the base spec is 23,500, its top spec less than 28, as well as housing a rather usable mile range of up to 258. It ticks all the right boxes. It's comfortable, it's modern, it looks great. Why would you go and fork out an extra 10 grand just to have the SUV label when you could have this and your bank will be thanking you? Now, if you want to find out more about the all-new MG4 Urban or the new MG4 EV, then contact your nearest Perry's MG dealership.